The story of the Buddha and the Bandit Angulimala. Long ago, in the kingdom of Kosala, near the city of Savatthi, there was a vast forest. Merchants and travelers often passed through it on their way to markets and nearby towns. The road had once been lively, but over time it became a place of fear, for within that forest dwelled a notorious bandit named Angulimala. Angulimala was infamous for his cruelty. He did not merely kill for wealth. He had a terrifying habit. After each murder, he would cut off a finger of his victim and string it onto a garland around his neck. That garland grew longer and longer, earning him the dreadful name Angulimala, which means the garland of fingers. The people of the villages nearby lived in constant terror. Roads once filled with traffic grew silent. Travelers dared not go alone, and even large caravans often turned back. Trade was disrupted, families worried, and children cried at the mere mention of his name. Few knew that Angulimala had not been born evil. He was once an intelligent young man, educated and full of promise. But through lies, manipulation, and poisoned whispers, he was led astray. He was told that only by killing 1,000 people could he gain supreme power. Believing this deception, he began a life of bloodshed. At first, he trembled with fear each time he killed, but soon his heart hardened. The garland of fingers that hung from his neck was not just a symbol of the victims he had slain, but also the chains of karma that bound him in darkness. One day, at Jetavana Monastery, the Buddha perceived the truth of the matter through his great wisdom. He saw how Angulimala was tormenting the people and destroying himself. If the bandit continued, his future would hold nothing but endless suffering. Out of infinite compassion, the Buddha resolved to enter the forest and guide him. When news spread, the villagers were horrified. They ran to the Buddha and pleaded, "Blessed One, do not go. Angulimala kills without mercy. Entering his forest is walking into death itself." But the Buddha only smiled gently and said, "It is precisely because he is lost that I must go. Even Angulimala has the potential for awakening." That noon, beneath the blazing sun, the Buddha walked calmly along the empty road leading into the forest. His golden robe flowed lightly with each step. His face was serene, radiating peace like a still pond. The silence of the path seemed to deepen with his presence. Meanwhile, Angulimala was hiding near the forest trail. From afar, he saw a solitary monk approaching, utterly unafraid. He smirked to himself, "A fool who does not know his fate. You will be the next finger on my garland." Gripping his weapon, he charged swiftly toward the Buddha. Yet something strange happened. Though he ran at full speed, the distance did not close. The Buddha walked slowly, steadily, yet remained out of reach. The harder Angulimala ran, the more exhausted he became, sweat pouring down his body, breath ragged. Still, he could not catch up. Finally, furious and out of breath, Angulimala shouted, "Monk! Stop where you are." The Buddha turned his head slightly and replied in a calm, steady voice, "I have already stopped, Angulimala. It is you who have not stopped." Startled and confused, Angulimala roared, "What nonsense is this? You are clearly still walking. How can you say you have stopped?" The Buddha answered gently, "I have stopped, for I harm no living being. I have stopped violence, anger, and hatred. But you, Angulimala, you have not stopped. You continue to bring death and sorrow wherever you go." These words struck Angulimala like thunder from a clear sky. His body trembled, his weapon slipped from his hands. In that moment, he saw his life stretched out before him, bodies, blood, and grief. He realized he was not free, but a prisoner of his own crimes. For the first time, his heart cracked open with regret. Tears streamed down his face as he fell to his knees. "I have done terrible wrongs," he cried. "I no longer wish to kill. Please, Blessed One, show me another path. Deliver me from this darkness." The Buddha stepped closer, placing a compassionate hand upon his shoulder. "Rise, Angulimala. The past cannot be changed, but the present and the future are yours to shape. Lay down your weapon. Follow me, and learn the path of peace. The door to liberation is open." Hearing this, Angulimala felt as though a heavy burden had been lifted. Right then, he renounced his old life and begged to become a disciple of the Buddha. The Blessed One accepted him, and from that day forward, Angulimala wore the saffron robe of a monk and devoted himself to the practice of the Dharma. At first, the villagers could not believe it. They were filled with fear and hatred, unable to forget the horrors he had caused. But as time passed, they saw the truth with their own eyes. Angulimala lived humbly, walked silently for alms, and radiated a gentleness that was unmistakable. The ferocity once in his eyes had given way to compassion. In time, Angulimala found deep inner peace. His transformation became a living testimony that under the light of the Buddha's compassion and wisdom, even the most wicked soul can awaken. His story continues to remind the world, it is never too late to change.